welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier web podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back. We're done with that theme song part. I'm going to turn off that module. I messed up the intro to this show that I've done hundreds of episodes of, and I'm well versed in how to do internet radio. Here's the thing. That's what I call podcast, internet radio. I was reading an email from somebody who is obviously, I know I spoke about this last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was on LinkedIn Logs. I don't know. I am friendly with some PR people, and I was reading an email from a PR person who already, I don't want to get too into specifics, but it's very clear they sent out an automated email, and it was for an interview of somebody who I've previously spoken to recently. So I was just like, why did this person send this email again? And now I'm talking about it. Welcome back in. Here we are. It's Friday. I still have to do yoga. This is episode 378. I know I've mentioned it before. I was doing 100 days of yoga starting off the year, and then day 100 came, and I said, let's go to 101. And boy, oh boy, we're still doing it. So however many days since January 1st it's been, I've been doing yoga. I've been doing yoga since, 2014? Yeah, it has to be 2014. And I was working like 5 jobs at the time. I was in college. And the college gym had yoga classes at like 7 p.m. Or 6 or 7 p.m. It doesn't really matter. But I know the sun was fully down, so it was probably like 7 or even 8. And I would end my very long days and go do the yoga, I think on Wednesday nights. And I remember during Savasanas, I would fall asleep every single time. Truly just fall asleep. And I remember waking up in the middle of Savasanas and like people next to me were laughing because I would be snoring. Oh my gosh. What's been going on? I've been having, I was on the reverse hyper machine on Tuesday during leg day, and it was actually the warm up. And I did my entire leg workout. And at some point Tuesday, I think on the reverse hyper machine, my sacrum area, I think I pulled, not a pull, I think it was a nerve pinch or something. I don't know. But it on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 3 for the past like 3 days since Tuesday. It's just been hurting. And now it's sort of dulled. But I was stretching. I figured like let me stretch the hip flexor. Let me do all that stuff. But it was just, it was bad. And I was like, please don't let it be anything serious. I just watched the first episode of the new season of Running Point, and that was fantastic. I enjoy that show. I'm fully in love with Brenda Song and Kate Hudson. And it's just a funny show. It's very funny. Just a lot of laugh out loud stuff. I think Mindy Kaling is a good producer. She and Tina Fey and Robert Carlock, Tina Fey's partner, comedy partner, writing partner, I guess, for TV. I don't think he's written a movie. Maybe, who knows? But I think they're able to lend their voices to excellent shows. You know, I'm sure Mindy I'm sure she, I don't know, had a big hand in the pilot, like shaping the voice of the show, because it is, if you've seen the Mindy Project, it's very much in that same vein of comedy. In the same way that, what was it? The Fall and Rise? Yeah, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins is in the same vein of Dirty Rock. And as was Great News, as was Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Just a lot of great stinging jokes, quick stinging jokes. What else? That's it. Let's get on with the news, because I do have to do other stuff. I'm making cookie dough. I'm very busy. I'm watching golf. I'm finishing out the workday. Oh my gosh. This comes from Deadline, written by Jake Cantor. SNL UK storms past 86 million views on social media, but TV viewing drops by a third. If you notice me pause in the middle of that sentence, I was wondering if I mentioned if this is from Deadline. Now, this is very important. Lorne Michaels has gone on the record saying that this is not a part of this story, that SNL UK should be the cooler, hipper version of SNL. He said it should be much more, and this is not the word he used, but prescient than what SNL vanilla is. And I agree and disagree in some points. They're doing a lot of great updated stuff that SNL should really look into. I've mentioned the lighting is fantastic. They're very loose when it comes to going off the stage or jumping from a sketch and just introducing the musical guests. They have way cooler musical guests. I will say that. I do think where SNL UK falters is in the hosts they pick. Tina Fey was a great first-time host. I think Riz Ahmed is a very good choice. Jamie Dornan was not a good choice. And that's not on him. It's just that he isn't the big draw that he was a couple of years ago. He's a big draw, but it's like they're saying, it's kind of like there was a shared list of guests, and this is not true, but it feels like there's a shared list of guests, and they're like, he's not quite A tier. He can't make it to vanilla, but we can put him on UK. And Jack White, what is that his name? Jack Whitehall, excuse me. Jack Whitehall, I think as popular as he is around the world, I don't necessarily think that maybe he should have taken the Dornan spot as number 2, and then Riz would have been 3. But this week, I believe they have Nicola Coughlan, which is a fine choice. If you're a fan of Dairy Girls and the other show that she's in, I just got an advertisement for it on Google TV. But so sure, I think that's fine. I think before we get into the story, SNL UK, they're the hosts right there. These people should, excuse me, not these people. The network should just Sky Network should not expect to have the same amount of viewers as a regular episode of Vanilla. And I call it SNL Vanilla now because there's a spinoff. Same thing. It's the same thing I do with Law and Order and SVU. I call SVU, and I call Vanilla Law and Order Vanilla. Doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's plain or boring. It just means it's the original. And also, I think it's very fun. CSI Vanilla. There you go. NCIS Vanilla. Do I watch those shows? No. FBI Vanilla. I'm going to start watching FBI. Anyway, it doesn't work for Chicago because there's fire, PD, med. Okay. Anyway. And so the expectations for SNL UK should be lofty, but not very expectant. They should just be like, hey, we know this is going to perform well online, especially based on the cast members they have, but not expect it to be like people are rushing to Peacock or rushing to Sky to watch it. So it's been a month, and Deadline found that SNL UK has stormed past 86 million views across its official online accounts on YouTube, which it took them a week and a half to get that YouTube channel running. Instagram Reels, X, Twitter, and TikTok, meaning it's consistently going viral even without counting bootleg videos on unaffiliated SNL accounts. Let's see. They have generated 55 million views on Reels as of recently, with 16 videos getting more than 1 million streams. One of their most popular videos was Tina Fey as Mary Poppins, amassing 9.6 million views, making it the most watched clip across all of the show's official channels. I believe, let me go to the YouTube channel. that I am subscribed to. Yes. And you know what I do like about their YouTube channel is that they upload their sketches throughout the week, as opposed to just dumping them all on Saturday night, which is both good and bad. All right, so if we look at their YouTube channel, we see that there's a lot of great behind the scenes stuff. I appreciate seeing behind the scenes videos, and a lot of the videos are getting triple digits, which is fantastic. Here's a weekend update segment getting triple digits. There's a Peter Pan a sketch getting triple digits, and that's great. That's excellent. I think that's exactly what we need. Don't expect the musical performances to be, the most watched things, but you better believe I watched that Georgia Smith one. You better believe I said watch that episode. I didn't get up like I normally do during musical guests. I sat down and watched it. And people want to see SNL UK. Whether it be on Peacock or watching, as I guess people do now traditionally, just on YouTube. Now, the ratings have not been very good. The overnights for the first episode were 226,000, but that grew in 7-day repeats to 784. The second episode dropped a little bit, down to 205, and that grew to 642. The third episode dropped significantly from to 100, but the 7-day grew to a fairly reasonable size of 631. And then the overnights for the fourth episode went to 120, and they grew to 503. So we see the drops in the viewers, but people are still actively, and that's with the live TV. That's with the live watching it on Peacock, watching it on Sky, whatever. But we do see that the online stuff is doing well, which is great. This is what I want. Hey, there's a real quick. I saw an email come into C Plus Comedy's email account that said that someone is looking to buy iHeartMedia and SiriusXM and then merge the two. And that's the only email I got about it. Who was it? And it's just such a, oh God, significant cuts to the health plan of the WJ ratified it. Oh my goodness. Who was it? His name was like Arv Zitzkoff or something. Irving Azoff. That was really close. Arv Zitzkoff. Okay. Anyway, he wants to create a satellite and terrestrial radio giant. I don't know how that would work, but is radio in such pains that would need to happen? I think iHeartRadio is doing exceptionally well, especially compared to SiriusXM, to which I am subscribing. Okay. All right, this next one comes from The Athletic. U.S. Senator introducing bill intended to make sports more accessible to fans. Should use a picture of Diana Rossi and Mike Vrabel. It's written by Andrew Marchand. If you're not paying attention to that story, you're not paying attention to the NFL. As fans, leagues, media companies, and various branches of the government grapple with an increasingly complicated and frustrating sports TV landscape, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, a Democrat from Wisconsin, plans to introduce the, quote, For the Fans Act that is designed to decrease consumer TV costs and make local games easier to access while ending blackouts for fans with out-of-market subscriptions. This is something that has been, in the past couple of weeks, a very big conversation surrounding sports. The Masters were on CBS, and the early coverage, not coverage of the talking, I guess the talking head shows were on the Golf Channel. And if you wanted to watch the Masters at all, you'd have to subscribe to a pay TV package like YouTube TV or Charter, Paramount Network, or Paramount Plus rather. Is that what it's called? Paramount Plus? Who takes my $13 a month? In Amazon Prime, which had basically just streams of the golfing. For NBA, you have to subscribe to Peacock, NBA TV, which is, you can subscribe to, I guess, the NBA directly and get all the games ever. Peacock, a pay TV package, local broadcasting, which is free, and if your team wasn't playing locally, then you would just miss it. Anyway, and then for NFL, YouTube TV for every NFL game or NFL directly. Anyway, you have to, what I'm saying is for tennis, hockey, soccer, football, basketball, cricket, whatever, you have to subscribe to so many different packages or platforms in order just to watch. And it is becoming so expensive to be a fan. You have to have pretty much every single streaming platform plus a pay TV package in order to watch anything. And let's pretend you get Fubo. That's everything. That's so expensive. The bill is designed to work with the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, something I've mentioned in the past here, which gives the NFL certain antitrust exemptions, particularly around media rights, and is viewed as favorable to smaller teams like the Packers in Baldwin's home state. If enacted, the new bill would impact the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, WNBA, MLS, and NWSL, among other leagues. All nationally televised games involving pro teams from a state would be made available for free statewide via broadcasting or streaming and on a consistent channel or service. This is similar to the NFL's policy with TV partners that mandates free local access for fans of participating teams in nationally streamed games like Thursday Night Football that's airing on Prime Video. So you can watch Prime Video for free Thursday Night Football. It makes a lot of sense. Another function of the bill would make it so services like NFL Sunday Ticket, NBA League Pass, MLB TV, and other platforms that offer the majority of games for out-of-market fans would no longer have national blackouts when games appear exclusively on our streaming service requiring additional fee. And I know that's very frustrating, especially for NBA League Pass and MLB TV, because there's so many games. For MLB, there's hundreds. For NBA League Pass, there's I think 82 games per season. So it's insane to not be able to sit down and watch the Hawks when you pay I think $20 a month for NBA League Pass. Is that how much it costs? There is a point where I wanted League Pass and MLB TV, and then I just went, they're all on television. It's fine. Effectively, the bill would ensure that fans outside their team's home market who are paying for quote-unquote complete out-of-market packages don't lose access to their team's games, often some of the best games of the season, that have been cherry-picked to appear exclusively on a streaming service requiring additional payment. This is important. This is for the consumers. This should be a bipartisan thing. Like, everybody should want to help out with this and vote with this, because it is so unfortunate to sit down and not be able to see any of the games. It probably won't pass, but hopefully just let's get this legislation rolling. And finally, this is gonna be a big story. This is from Xbox Wire, written by Matt and Asha. If you don't know who Matt and Asha are, they are the new heads of Xbox, not Microsoft Gaming. Xbox. They released this memo to their workforce and to the workforce at large, known as gamers. They know that they have a ship to right when it comes to Xbox. I'm going to refer to this story, which is why I keep calling it Xbox, as opposed to Microsoft Gaming. This comes from Variety, written by Todd Spangler. Microsoft Gaming changes name to Xbox. Quote unquote, our new North Star will be daily active players, execs say in staff memo. That's right. They reverted. They're breaking away. They're not literally breaking away, but they're breaking away from the name of Microsoft Gaming that was changed, I believe, in the last year or so, to create a sort of synonymous culture within Microsoft. But with that, Microsoft introduced AI into Copilot, and it's been and Windows has been just not working well lately. And if Xbox can kind of separate itself from that situation, then that can become a very popular segment of the Microsoft ecosystem, even though that company is it makes a lot of money. In the same way that I believe the Sony's gaming segment of PlayStation makes the most money for the company, along probably with the studios, then I would probably think that gaming does the same thing for Microsoft. Could do the same thing for Microsoft. Could possibly. Now, in this memo, Matt and Asha recognize that there is a lot of stuff to do when it comes to this. They want to help put out more features for Xbox. They want to make the PC stuff better. They want the presence to be there. They want pricing to be much better. And in mind with that, they lowered the price of Game Pass. This again comes from Xbox Wire, written by Team Xbox. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price update. The pricing changed. It last year, a couple of months ago, I believe, it went up to $30 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, which is basically you subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. Players subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. They can play a selection of a couple hundred games, I believe, for that subscription. And there's different tiers. So with the toppest tier, you get Xbox first party games on day one releases, which is really cool. I do enjoy that. And then you also get discounts and stuff whenever you want to buy games that are on Game Pass, and that's always good too. And but last year they added Call of Duty to it, and that increased the price of Game Pass significantly, which is unfair to the consumer, especially if you're somebody who doesn't play Call of Duty. I only played it because it was free on Game Pass. Anyway, so they dropped the price from $30, which it went up to $30, I think like 4 or 5 months ago. And it goes down to $22.99. PC Game Pass is dropping from $16.49 to $13.99. Oh, Notion just reset itself. Interesting. Subscribers will continue to have access to hundreds of games on Xbox and PC, including the current Call of Duty titles, multiplayer, cloud gaming, all that stuff, and major day one releases. However, as I mentioned, and as you see in the show notes, new Call of Duty releases will be removed, will not be on Game Pass. And remember, Xbox owns Activision Blizzard. So that's an important thing to keep in mind, that the most popular game in the world that was on Game Pass didn't sell as much because it was on Game Pass. And now they're like, nah, we're going to do that. So, they continuing on with the memo, they want to get back to what Xbox is. They want you to be able to play games and share your progress and play with your friends and have an identity that works with every single iteration of Xbox, from console to PC to mobile to cloud. They want it to be affordable, personal, and open, and they want it to be flexible on pricing. I don't know what any of that means. That's a very general speak, but I'm happy to see that they are listening to the fans at large. They're talking, and then they also mention the next iteration of Xbox, Project Helix, which they distinctly say it's going to lead in performance and play your console and PC games. So we know it's going to be a console PC hybrid. They want to expand into China, emerging markets, and mobile-first audiences, which I would guess would possibly mean we're going to see, you know how Nintendo released. I don't know if they've done any mobile releases recently in the past couple of years, but they used to have the Super Mario Run game, which still gets updates. They just released an update with the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and so I would assume that we're going to see more. Oh, there was an Elder Scrolls game. Microsoft did have or I guess Activision Blizzard, or Bethesda rather, excuse me, because Microsoft owns Bethesda. There was an Elder Scrolls game on mobile. I think I still have it on my iPad. Have I played it? No. Let me go to the games section. It is still on my iPad. It's called Blades. You know, this is on my iPad. There's a Mortal Kombat Onslaught game on here. There's the Persona 5X game, Super Mario Run, Pac-Man 256. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff. Darkest Dungeon, which I had to buy, I think. There's Call of Duty. I've never opened that. I've never opened the Call of Duty game. Diablo Immortal. There's Diablo again. There's another a console game that's on. Well, Diablo Immortal is for mobile. Joe Danger Infinity. There was the Mario Kart games. Mighty Doom. Yeah, Microsoft's been on here for a long time. Rocket League. There's a Rocket League Sideswipe game. And then here's a game I bought probably with my iPod Touch, the first generation iPod Touch. There's two games. Plants vs. Zombies HD and XCOM Evolution EW. I don't know what that is. But it's an XCOM game. It's that whole console release. If that interests you at all. So they have their work cut out for them. If you look at the numbers of games that have sold on Xbox and versus PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, there's only 4 places to play games. Why are we pitting this competition? Why do people not want Xbox to survive? Like, why do? And admittedly, these are the way. By when I mean people, I mean like basically people who don't play console games or they're just PlayStation fans. Why would you want just one console maker to be in this? You should want Nintendo and Xbox to go against PlayStation. You want PlayStation to be there. You want all 3 of those consoles to be against PC. You should want more competition. You shouldn't want someone to have a monopoly on satellite radio and terrestrial radio or computers. It shouldn't be, every computer should be running Linux. Well, not every program runs on Linux. Things run better on Microsoft, or on Windows. Apple's got its own ecosystem. You should want competition because competition makes you better. Now, there's another interesting thing. This comes from Pure Xbox, written by Fraser Gilbert. Xbox is officially, quote-unquote, reevaluating what to do about exclusivity. Now, if you remember, Gears of War, the remake of the first game, just came out on PlayStation and PC. They also released Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5. And so we've seen some Xbox exclusives make their way over to competing platforms, which is fine. But that leaves almost nothing for Xbox. I feel like, when you don't have many exclusives for yourself, much IP for yourself, and you're sharing, you're thinking, let's release Halo on PlayStation. Where's the reason that somebody should buy an Xbox? And it shouldn't be what's coming out down. I'm sorry, it's breaking my arm. No, it shouldn't be like what's coming down the pike. It should be, hey, this is a taste. If you're going to do it, then hey, here's a taste of what we have on Xbox. If you want to play the other Halo games, then come to Xbox because we are not releasing everything else. Because it'd be great if the Spider-Man game came out on Xbox and I didn't have to buy a PlayStation. But it's not how it happens. Death Stranding 2 is barely going to be on PC. Actually, I don't even know. I think they said they're not doing that. I have Death Stranding 1 downloaded to my Steam Deck. How many times have I opened it? 3 times. How long have I played it? 2 hours. I don't understand how people are sitting down playing video games. And then people look at me like, I don't understand how he's watching that much TV. You have it on. Golf is on right now. So according to Fraser here, there have been rumbles for a while that Xbox might be considering a change to its plan around exclusivity following the arrival of new boss Asha Sharma. And it's now officially been confirmed that this will be reevaluated. So within that statement, they said, they mentioned that quote unquote exclusivity Windowing and AI are three areas that are being targeted for reevaluation, but no decisions have been made yet. Excuse me. Asha said, and Matt Booty specifically said, along the way, we will reevaluate our approach to exclusivity, windowing, and AI, and share more as we learn and decide. But in an update, there's an interview with GameFile that Asha did. She tells them that, quote, we'll take a data-driven approach and a strategic-driven approach, and then we'll look at our principles and we'll make some calls, which means nothing. So we'll share more when we're ready, and I want to make the right decision, not the fastest. At this point in time, I don't think that there's any way that we won't see some sort of AI thing appear on Xbox. That's just where the world's going. We're going to see it happen. It's going to happen on Apple. It's already happening on Android. And I would dare say that the next, I'm looking at my Zoom recorder here. The next iteration of, let's see, the Zoom H8 is out. So the Zoom H10, I assume in a couple of years, will have some sort of AI component to it. Everything's going to have an AI component until that bubble bursts. And we just have to get used to it. Xbox should just do the thing that every console has done in the past 30 years. In that, they did a couple of years ago under Phil Spencer's leadership. He did a great job. They bought up a bunch of studios, and PlayStation has done the same thing. But when Xbox does it, it's how dare they? How gauche. But I like the idea of procuring those studios, but also just make games. Making games is very important. Don't cancel something because it doesn't look like it's going to sell the trillions of copies that you want to sell. I think, especially with Game Pass, they have this ability to be able to release a game and get so many eyes on it. And I understand that with that, there's a lot of trade-offs. When you're on Game Pass, you let's say, oh God, what is that game I was just thinking about? Expedition 33. That is a game that I had no idea existed, but it released on Game Pass, and on day one I downloaded it and I played it, and it took me a month probably, I think, to play through it, but I played it, and maybe I'll go back to it. And so many other people were able to play it because it was on Game Pass. And in the end, it's still, I can buy it on sale. I can buy it on PC and replay it myself. People who like these games will eventually end up buying them. I'm going to buy every Yakuza game. Am I going to play every Yakuza game? No. How many Yakuza games do I have? 8 right now. But am I going to play them all? No. I'm still on Yakuza 0. Should I have started at no, I'm on Kiwami. That's right. Should I have started at like a pirate, like a dragon, the pirate Yakuza game? Maybe. But who cares? I still bought them all. You know why? Because I saw them on Game Pass, and I went, these are fun. Look at all these mini games they have in there. Oh, I could be a Yakuza man. And then I played through a little bit of one. I played a couple of hours of one of them, and I said, I'm going to buy all these games. In retrospect, I do wish I bought them on PlayStation. I try to buy games where they originally came out. Anyway, I think Game Pass has a lot to offer, and I hope that with this reduction in price, they can still continue to offer, going to studios and saying, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars in order to put this game on Game Pass. Because let's be clear. There are still people who are willing to buy games. I still buy movies and TV shows. I just bought WALL-E and The Good Dinosaur digitally. Of course I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy things because I'm not always going to have subscriptions. All right, I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to celebrities sometimes. We got a couple of interviews coming, so we'll see about that. If you want to see a video version of this show, then go to youtube.com/C+Comedy, where you can see a video version of this show, as I previously mentioned, as well as a video version of the other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News podcast, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. Subscribe to the shows wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check out the video versions of the interviews I do under the interviews. Follow us on social media at C+ Comedy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.